Kenny Daneyko. Not on the golf course today, but from his home in Randolph, New Jersey.
It's too wet out there, fellas. So
Yeah.
I have the pleasure of joining you. Good to be on with you.
All right. He joins us via the MSG 150 speed dial presented by Files by Verizon. So, Kenny, I know you're going to come on and tell us that the Devils are taking Jack Hughes Friday night, right?
Well, look, I'm not going to change my stance. I think when I spoke to you last time, I would assume it's Jack Hughes. That is just my opinion from what I hear, obviously, from scouts and everybody that knows a lot more than me throughout the National Hockey League. But the Devils, obviously, like a lot of teams, keep it very close to the vest. And obviously, you have two great players at the top of the draft. It's a deep draft throughout. But I will believe and still believe it's going to be Jack Hughes going to the New Jersey Devils. If he doesn't, we'll be happy with either guy. Obviously, me being with the organization as long as I have, we hear nothing but great things about both players, Jack Hughes and Capo Caco.
Well, someone like yourself who's been through the process, I'm sure this always brings back memories. This is Rookie Week presented by Squarespace. In 1982, the New Jersey Devils really weren't New Jersey yet, or they just had moved there. When you were drafted, what happened when you heard it was New Jersey?
Well, first off, I got a call early morning. I wasn't projected, Alan, to go in the first round. There was 21 teams at the time. The Devils had 2 picks in the first round, and you're right. The Devils did not have a team name yet. It was New Jersey. They had just moved from Colorado. So obviously they were having a fan vote in the Star Ledger newspaper on what the team's name should be. They had the 8th and 18th pick. I was not ranked to go in the first round. In fact, I was cautiously optimistic, late second, maybe early third round, possibly. Back then, you didn't hear as much about that, and I never really talked to any teams or even New Jersey for that matter. And I get a call early morning. I thought my mother was pranking me. She says, Kenny, get out of bed, come take this call. It was relatively early, and I said, it's one of my friends playing a prank. It's far too early, Mom. And that's the truth. I pick up the phone. They said, Ken, congratulations. You've been drafted 18th overall. I dropped the phone. I was beside myself like any young kid. That's your dream, first to get drafted and obviously an opportunity to play in the National Hockey League. And my mother looked at me and says, pick up the phone and ask who it is. I didn't know who it was. And that's the truth. And I said, oh, yeah, by the way, who is this? And they said, it's New Jersey, no team name. I covered up the phone. I've told this story umpteen dozen times. I turned to my mother, turned my head and said, where's New Jersey? So,
Come on.
but it didn't matter. I would have ran the 3,000 miles from Edmonton, Alberta to get my opportunity. And things worked out pretty well.
Indeed, they did. So you had the great story. You get picked in 82, and then October 5th, 1983, the first game of your illustrious career. Look at this here, actually at MSG against the Rangers.
How did you guys find that footage? Wow.
Look at Kenny. Look at you, Kenny D.
Babyface Ken Daneyko, 19 years old. Well, guys, obviously, it's a long time ago, but what a great honor, great thrill. And to be playing your first game, none other than Madison Square Garden. Pretty exciting for a young 19-year-old for sure. Our team was not very good at the time. And my mother, who was a small-town lady, she's passed since then, didn't even know if she was going to come. My dad convinced her. She says, I don't really like big cities. It's a little much for me. But she did make it to the game. And she goes, I don't care if that kid plays one more game in this league. He told me since 7 years old, 50 times a day, he's going to play in the National Hockey League. I did pick up my first point and had an assist against the Rangers. We got pounded, I believe, 7-3, something along those lines.
Right.
But that didn't matter at the time. I was just elated to have played my first game in the sports market, one of the greatest sports markets in the world, New York, obviously, in the famous Madison Square Garden.
You're a better man than me. I would have said I forgot the final score, but I did get a point. I wanted to make sure that the assist was there for you. The score doesn't matter at that point. July 1st coming up, obviously another big day in the NHL because that's when free agency begins. How active do you expect the Devils to be, especially with Taylor Hall?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, you're seeing some dominoes fall and teams make moves already. The Rangers with Trouba and the Flyers obviously pick up a couple of defensemen along the way as well in trade. So I think there is going to be an awful lot of movement, and more so than we've ever seen in years. with the salary cap issues and restraints of certain teams and up against the cap. And that's something Ray's been real good at so far with the Devils as far as striking while the iron's hot, as they say. He's been patient throughout his tenure as general manager of the New Jersey Devils. I know we all get anxious. We want him to get somebody, sign somebody. He's certainly going to look to improve the team. Obviously, he's going to do that with the #1 overall pick. But I would think the phones will be ringing like crazy for Ray Shero, and he's going to look at adding some pieces. Yes, obviously, Taylor Hall wants to see the direction of the team. He loves New Jersey. I mean, I know a lot of people make a lot of the fact that, well, when are they going to sign Taylor Hall? Is he going to sign July 1st? He's got leverage. It's all about, taking your time, certainly for a guy that's going to be a free agent but still has a year in his contract. And let's hope, I guess, from a Devils perspective and fans that they make enough moves to entice Taylor Hall to stay long term. He's an important piece of the puzzle, certainly, and coming off a Hart Trophy season the previous year. Injuries last year and a lot of struggles for the team in general, coming off the playoff year, which was surprising the year before. So I think they're in the right direction. They've got a lot of good young prospects, and I think Taylor Hall just wants to see maybe them add a veteran piece or two, whether it's free agency or through the trade, via trade.
Kenny, you briefly mentioned Jacob Trouba. The Rangers, of course, just acquired him from Winnipeg. What do you think he's going to bring to the Rangers?
Well, look, they're very hard to find right-handed defenseman. He's big. He can play in all situations and plays pretty physical. He had a career year, 50 points, a lot of assists along the way. So you would think he's going to add a lot of stability. He's only 25 years old, but anytime you can pick up a defenseman, they're just not hard to find. Bigger bodies with good reach and play with a little bit of an edge like Jacob Trouba does. They're hard to find, no question about it. He's 25, so I'm sure he's going to be an important piece of their puzzle. Every team wants to add defensemen along the way in depth, but I think he's obviously a lot more than a depth defenseman. So for all intents and purposes, looks like a real good acquisition for the New York Rangers. Time will tell. Fits everything, timing, and you never know how these trades or acquisitions or free agents work out or signings along the way with that organization. You're all excited initially, and sometimes you've got to temper that a little bit, I believe, from the standpoint we've seen so many teams add good players and it just didn't fit. But from my perspective, yeah, Jacob Trouba was a guy that a lot of teams would like to have and should be a real good piece for the Rangers.
And we'll see what he gets in a contract, but we've seen already some players getting paid.
Alan, I want to go there for a second.
Yeah. Erik Karlsson.
Boy, do I wish I was playing today. God bless these guys, because I am just dumbfounded at some of the numbers I'm hearing for certain players getting these days. I know the star guys you got to pay, but if you're an average defenseman in this league that plays 16, 17 minutes, you're getting north of $5 million. What a game. What a life right now for a National Hockey League player.
Work hard, kids.
Kenny, it's
Work hard, kids.
Never too late to come back, Kenny.
Oh, gosh, man, I wish. My heart always says yes, Bill. The legs might have something to say about that, but boy, oh boy, their eyes light up certainly this time of year, and especially with the leverage I'm talking about, supply and demand, and certainly Jacob Trouba is another guy that's going to get a lot of money.
Kenny, hey, always great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Good luck with the golf game the rest of the summer, okay? I'm sure we'll be talking to you before then, however.
My pleasure, guys. Friday should be exciting for both franchises, and the rivalry is going to heat up again individually with Hughes and Kakko, whichever way it goes, as well as the Devils and Rangers, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
And we'll look forward to actually having you join us on Friday night, the night of the NHL Draft. Thanks so much, Kenny.
Take care, guys.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.